everyone, welcome back. My name is Jennifer McCollum from the Parent Teens Club, and I'm here with the stunning Dr. Stem. Dr. Stem is a native of Zimbabwe. She is the president and founder of Global Counseling and Coaching Services, Inc., which is in the warm Orlando, Florida. Lucky you.
Yes.
So Dr. Stem works in private practice, providing counseling, coaching, seminars, and workshops for couples, parents, teenagers, and families. You do it all. Now, I had to check and double check this, but you have authored and co-authored over 30 books. They're empowerment books. They're, focusing on inspiring, influencing, and impacting lives. I think it's incredible, incredible, incredible. I can't wait to read every one of them. And Dr. Stem is known as the queen of motivation and encouragement. Welcome, Dr. Stem.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
I'm absolutely honored to have you here. Now, tell us how you got into becoming such an incredible support for parents.
So I've been in the United States. I operate from the United States, originally from Zimbabwe, and I've been here for 32 years this year. And when I came, I was coming to go to school for computer science. But I was working as a nurse's aide. And as a nurse's aide, there was a lady, who came in there, and I started serving her. It's in one of my books, It's Time to Shift from Fear to Faith. I talk a little bit about how she talked me into becoming, a social worker, to go into social work, to, get my degree and help people, because that's what I was doing. But when I went into school, one of our professors said, you know what, out of every population that we can serve, the most difficult and challenging one is teenagers and helping parents, with their teenagers. And we have few people that are working in that field because nobody wants to take that challenge. So for me, I challenged myself to say, you know what, I want to be, part of the, therapists and coaches that work with the parents, because they need help. And not, if we're all shying away from it, then who's going to help them? And that's how I made that decision to say, I'm going to be one of the few that will hang in there with the parents and hang in there with the teenagers so that they can get the support they need.
That is so beautiful. Now, I know that's a very short version of your story. And you have your full story available. Is it on the Parent Teen site? Is that the video that you have on the Parent Teens site? Because it talks about your full story and how you did it. And I think it's beautiful. I hope everyone goes and watches that, because you really are such an inspiration.
Thank you. And in my memoir, I have a memoir that I also wrote, which is Beyond the Tears, Bruised but Not Broken. And, now I just rewrote it again to thrive in Beyond the Tears. I do write about the journey of, becoming who you become and, following your passion, finding your passion. So I write more into, the story in there as well for everyone to, to read it. But then it's helpful because when you're working with parents and you're working with, the teenagers, they want to know what your journey was. They want to know that it's possible. They want to know that there's nothing that can get in the way when you have made up your mind to become, whatever it is that you dream of. Or if you're a parent, when you've made up your mind that, you know what, I will help my children to become the best that they can be. It's a journey that, it starts, from within, from each and, one of us. So that's what motivated me as well, to write nice short books. You'll get titles like It's Time to Shift from Fear to Faith, Thriving Beyond the Tears, the power of prayer for, those of you that are in the Christian world, the power of prayer and, parenting. How do you combine those two so that you can have faith and you can hold on to that grace? I write about those as well. So, it's been interesting because not everyone can come into the office or, work with me via video or telephone. So through the books, if they get on Amazon and buy the books, it's almost like you're talking to me one-on-one, because I address the issues that I have addressed within the last 30 years in my office, knowing that I've only served a handful. What about the rest of the world? How would they know to sit on that couch without, the ability to do so? The better way is to do, the books. I also have a radio show, which is the podcast, and I have the channel for YouTube, which is the Dr. Stem Show on YouTube, where I talk to different parents and different people, even teenagers. I've interviewed them in there, but that helps, to empower, like you say, and encourage other parents as well.
Wow, and I've listened to them. They're so inspiring. I'm going to make sure that after this video that parents have a way to connect with you on all those platforms, and make sure to be able to get your books as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
So,
yeah, we're hoping that, on our website that you're creating, that we'll also have, like a channel where, all of us, the experts can also bring in our videos and put them there, because I know you're putting that together too, because that will be helpful. They find everything on the same platform.
that's right. Yes,
Yeah.
that is the plan.
You're doing a lot of work. Yeah, we appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, today you are going to talk to us about fear-based parenting, and there's been so much talk about fear-based parenting. I really want, I'm going to be just absorbing everything you're saying, and you're going to compare it, are you, to mindful parenting? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So let's start with mindfulness. What exactly is mindfulness?
So probably for me to better explain mindfulness, right, I probably have to, take people back into stressfulness, or stress and parenting from a stress base, which becomes the fear based, because our minds and our lives, I mean, it's almost like we are on a, wheel, rotating wheel, and people are busy, like busy. So as we are busy and the world is calling for, our attention at work, in the family, as in relationships, or lack of relationships, that means there is little time to really be present in parenting, to really be present as a parent. That is, being there to understand and separate what else is going on in my life and what my children are calling for, what else is going on in my children's lives, and how I can help bridge that gap between the world where they are going out to the schools, in the community, and my world of how I want to impact them and influence them with my values, my culture, because it's a whole different culture outside where they are going into the schools or work. So being mindful, when we talk about being mindful, in fact, I wrote a few things down so that I can, make sure that I cover them, right? So being mindful gives you the power to handle stress. It means you're calmed down. It means you're relaxed more. It means you're able to absorb the information that helps you as a person, but helps you as a parent. And that's, allowing you to live more fully, as I say it, one day at a time. At this point, I'm seeing people trying to bulk all the days and everything in one, so that they can just finish up everything that is on their plate, and the children are calling. I say children because by the time they become teenagers, it's everything that they have learned as children, everything that they have seen or not seen. But we have difficulty with the teenagers today because, unfortunately, if they do not have one responsible, mindful adult that is willing to talk to them, teach them, hold their hands, but mostly allow them to be crazy, and listening to them because they're going through a lot. So without having that calm person in their life that they can talk to, they become outraged at the teenage years because so much has built up, but they don't have direction on how to deal with the emotions of what's happening. The other reason why mindfulness and allowing yourself, to learn it so that you can handle stress is being in private practice. I work with adults as well. I have 82 75-year-olds that are coming in to talk about stress, at the end of life. But you'll be amazed that we go back into the teenage years, and there was so much damage that happened during the teenage years that was never processed, never talked about, that affected them as they got married, divorced, remarried, divorced, until now. Either they're still with their last partner or they're now by themselves and we're dealing with grief, but the parents are gone. And there was so much that was carried through that they never got to say what they felt, but they lived with it and parented their own children from a fear-based, angle because they never knew any other way. My goal is to bridge that gap again and break the cycle of how it was for the parents so that they can come back into the here and now and deal with these teenagers that are different children altogether because of what they are facing. Being mindful is developing an attitude that is open to change, and that is open to listening to the new language that these children are communicating, to being able to communicate with them in our own language so that they can understand. It's taking the time, because when they come in for counseling, I am saying exactly what the parent is saying, but I'm taking a little bit more time to explain why your parent is asking you to do those things, why they're expecting you to do those things. Because we have a generation, I call it even a generation Y, WHY, because they want to know why. Why am I supposed to do that? Why are you asking me to do that? So if you're not mindful of your answer and how you're going to respond and not react, because a lot of parents react rather than respond so that they can teach. Every moment that you see a teenager arguing with you and having, at this push and pull, tug of war, it's a calling for learning for them. It's an educational moment that if we are in that, you take a step back and you say, okay, they're not understanding something. That's why we are arguing about this, because I'm thinking of it in a separate way. They're thinking of it in a different way. Let me take the time to describe and explain why I'm asking it, or why we're talking about this, or taking the time when you're not that stressed out and having just chat moments with your kid so they can learn about life. So I could go on and just, ask questions if they have it, because
Well, it makes so much sense because life is so busy and we are stressed out, right? And to really see the impact that it has when we're not taking the time with our kids. And, just switching it from do this because I said so, I don't have time to explain, to taking a moment and just here is why, without having the fear behind it. I think that's one of, something I need to work on is, the fear of, one little thing happens and it, my oldest always says, your stories always end in death. So I definitely need to work on that one. So taking time and, not that parenting out of fear, but being mindful and just taking time with our kids, that makes a lot of sense. And also seeing the impact that it has lifelong. Like that's a very important skill, I think, that we need to master now.
Yes. It's interesting because then here's what happens, right? As a teenager, if you're a teenager that also, for the sake of example, was neglected because your parent was working and they never had time for you. And every time they come home, you want to ask something, they brush you up and say, you know what, can't you go to the kitchen and find out if they say, oh, mom, there's nothing in the kitchen. Oh, well, tell your father to, send me some more money so I can get groceries. So, ooh, okay. Then you go into your room because there's no time for that. Guess what's going to happen when you have your own children? At some point, if you don't deal with the emotions that you know tied to that time period of your life, you're going to repeat the same thing with your own children.
Mm-hmm.
As educated, as professional as you are, at some point it's already innate in you until you're mindful of, why am I doing this and why am I reacting this way? And we go deeper into that. Then you realize that I'm my mother, I'm my father, or I'm my grandmother who raised me, or I'm the foster parent who raised me, because the cycle continues. There are
Mm-hmm.
certain things that will be good, but there are certain things that will not work. That the teenagers, what they do is they are triggers. So they will say something, and when you say, because I said so, it's because, you know what? When I was growing up, nobody wanted to listen to me. Maybe I was bullied at school, and anything that I say didn't matter. So now I have my own children, and you're going to question me? No, you're not going to question me. But now this child is getting the bulk of the emotions that were carried for those bullies that were at school. But because I'm a child, why am I having to struggle? Because you're harsh with me. Those are the things now when we're talking that will help a parent to say, oh, I never thought about it that way. I
Mm-hmm.
never saw it in that way. And they, come into a loving place. So mindfulness is also bringing that loving place of yours that says, you know what? Even if my child is 16, 17, or 18 or 20 years old, if I don't teach them and they don't find a place that they can learn about just regular social skills, natural skills, how do I expect them to know what I'm saying or to do like I say, and understanding why I'm saying that if I haven't taken the time to teach them, or society hasn't taken time to teach them? So prevention is not one of the things that society, is worried about, where they teach in advance so that we can prevent, them from reacting, from being hurt, from people violating them, and then they don't tell anyone because nobody would believe them, trust them, or has time to say, somebody is hurting me. How do I deal with that? They just go on, become parents. So the cycle, continues to go on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely needed that we get a
Yeah.
handle on mindfulness now. Now, I know Dr. Sem, you have kind of summed it up for us in three easy steps, three takeaways for us on how we can, stop parenting from this fear base and be more mindful. So those three takeaways, can you just run through them for us?
Yes. So the first takeaway that, I wanted to share with you is stay calm.
Mhm.
It's almost like you have to have a thermometer every day that you check yourself and say, okay, what's my temperature? And that's my frustration temperature. That's my anxiety temperature. What's my temperature? And if it's a 100, then to communicate with your child when you're already at 100, of course, it's going to go to 2000, because that child will react to that. They're not going to respond. But what you're expecting is for them to respond and know that, it's at 100. They're not going to know that. So it's important that parents stay calm. The second one is stay connected. Staying connected is being able to have a community of supports, of people that you can talk to that will help you stay calm. That means the friends that you have, spouse that you have, get date nights with a spouse, so that, because if you have a spouse or a significant other that you have in the home, you set the temperature of how these children or these teenagers are going to feel and also respond to the world and to you, because how you have managed to stay calm and take care of your own stresses and anxieties outside of parenting.
Mhm.
And the third, key takeaway that I have is to stay present in your child's life. And it's never too late. Even if you start now when they're 15, 16, just to be present and to be present. They know when they're talking to you that you're not fully, completely there, that you're not present. So instead of them reacting to us not being present, my call is for every parent to put themselves in check when they're communicating, interacting with their teenagers, with their children, to ask themselves, am I present? Because being present means I'm not on the phone, I'm not talking to anybody else, I'm not looking at the TV, I'm not thinking about, oh my God, what am I going to do with that person? I'm literally present with my child and say, okay, what did you say was going on? I'm asking questions that are pertinent to what they're saying. I'm asking and giving them feedback that is appropriate to what they're asking, because I'm present, I'm mindful of the conversation.
Mhm. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I feel like everything you are saying is so wonderful, and that you said that it's never too late. And as I'm listening, part of me is saying, "Oh, I need to do so much better." I'm feeling kind of like, why didn't I start this or that earlier? And the other part is saying, yeah, I'm doing pretty good in that area. So I think for parents listening, they're going to feel one way or the other, or maybe both, like me, where, they have a little bit of shame that they didn't do this earlier, or they're feeling pretty good about their parenting. But either way, it's not too late. And I love that message. I think that's really, we should make sure to repeat that for
Yeah.
every parent, that it isn't too late, and that
Yeah.
we're all on this journey together. And we make mistakes, but that, connecting with people like you, we have this ability to just do better and feel better, and affect the next generation, and so on and so on. So thank you for sharing all of this with us, Dr. Stem. Now, I know we had said you're in Orlando, but I want to just make sure that parents know that they can connect with you no matter where they are, because you
Yes.
do phone, is it phone and Skype
It's
counseling
for
as well?
video. So video, we have different modes of doing the videos. We can do the Zoom, we can do Skype, we can do even FaceTime, we can do what they call WhatsApp. So there are different ways that we can connect, and also telephone. The good thing about it is you can do it in the comfort of your home, also in the car. I have people that will literally sit in their car and they say, I'm about to get in the house, but now let me talk to you and just tell you about my day. So when we talk about their day and also connect it with what they're going to find in the house, they walk in now being mindful that, okay, what I have during the day stays right there in the car where I was, but now let me go inside, and they're not going to just walk in and go,
Mhm.
because they're more calm. So I love the fact that now we are able to do that, to talk on the video and talk on the phone.
That is wonderful. We've got Dr. Stem in our pocket.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for
Exactly.
being with us today and sharing all of your goodness with us about mindfulness. I know this is just going to be a blessing for many people listening in, and I hope that those that feel a connection with Dr. Stem reach out and connect with her on our parentteens.club website. Have a look at all those fabulous books. I need to get through all of
Yeah.
them. I can't wait to read them all, but please reach out and connect with Dr. Stem. But thank you so
Thank
much for
you. So
being here, and please come back another time and share some more with us.
be mindful. And until then, be encouraged. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Stem. Take care. We'll see you again.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye-bye.